Hi guys, it's Jazz1122 here, and this is the video I was talking about with be careful who you lay next to, based on a true story. Now, I personally was not with this person, but my friend was actually with this guy who I am about to read about, and I actually found out about this story during Mercury retrograde, like the beginning of it. And a fun fact, this was back when I met this guy. It was 2015. And ironically, that was the last time Mercury was retrograde in Gemini. Ain't that crazy, y'all? But anyway. So, the title is called Be Careful Who You Lay Next To because this is a real cautionary tale. So I'm going to give a background to who this guy I'm going to talk about is. Now, the guy I'm talking about name is Joe. I will say his name because it's public what he's done. So, but my friend, I'm not going to say her name. So I'm going to give her another name. So let's call her Diane, right? So Diane was dating this guy named Joe for a long time. I met Joe in 2015. I was not a big fan of Joe. I was not from the beginning, as well as many other people. But however, Diane, she loved Joe to pieces. Joe was the type of guy that was out for self. You know, number one, he didn't have any goals, no ambitions. Another thing is, he also had no problem wearing pajama pants. Like, he was just like cool with just like being like that. And, you know, my friend Diane just loved him. And he rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. So, take it back to 2015. There was a time when I got my first car. And the same day I got my car, she got into a car accident and lost her car. And that was when I would take her to go and see him. I did, like, what I'm telling you guys, she already knows. Like, Diane, like, me and her, you know, we keep it real with each other. You know, she know I wasn't fond of this guy from the very beginning. But, you know, on the strength of Diane, because she was a very good friend of mine, I would take her to see him. And he stayed at his grandmother's house. And one thing I started to notice about Joe was he always had a sob story. Bad stuff was always happening to him, but it was his fault. So he kind of would, like, every time I would, like, pull up, you know, first thing he does is lean into the side, because that's where Diane would sit, and be like, babe, guess what happened today? Like, it's always was something, like, I was so tired of this man always having a sob story, but he did nothing about it, see? But because Diane loved him, see, I understand when a woman is in love, you can't tell her anything. You know, I've been that woman. It's only when I truly, really, really got hurt where I was forced to reflect on myself, right? And I know she really cared about Joe. You know, despite that he had no goals, no dreams, no ambitions. He had no problems wearing pajama pants, but she loved him though. And I get that. You know, when a woman is in love, logic can go out the window. I've been there. That's why I don't judge. But however, this is still a cautionary tale. So, he always had some type of sob story. Diane will go out her way to try to make him happy. He had no problem asking her for money. No, like, he really grinded my gears. Like, and it made me sad that Diane didn't feel like she could do better than him, because she definitely could have. But her emotions kept her there with Joe. It wasn't, he didn't really have much. So that's how you know she really, really cared about him. But I remember, like, Joe became very entitled. See, when a woman spoils a man and he don't deserve it, he's going to start to treat you like trash. He is. Because he's going to feel entitled. And that's exactly what he walked around as, entitled. So one day, he gets into my car. He says something about my car. See, here's the thing. I'm not in love with Joe. See, I see Joe for who he really is. I understand that Diane didn't at the time, but he got the right one today, So he says something about my car, and I turned around and I looked at him and said, well, you can get out and work and walk. Well, work too. He could use that too, but I was talking about he could get up and walk. And he kind of looked at me like, did she really just say that? And I'm looking at him like, yeah, I really just said that. See, I'm not in love with you. I don't like you. And I'm just here because my friend loves you to pieces. But if you think you gonna talk to me like that, you got the right one today. And ever since that day, when I checked him, he understood, like, all right, so after that, he was very respectful to me. But did that change how he felt about Diane? No. And so let's fast forward to some time after that, right? It's Diane, my last partner. Let me give him a name. Let me call him Charlie. So it was Diane and Charlie. Now, I actually got closer to Charlie because of Diane, because they were friends. And I used to always hang out with them. It was always fun to hang out with Diane and Charlie. So this time, though, me and Charlie was actually together. So when he would come down to visit, it was one of the days he came down, and I wanted all of us to go to the beach. And also, Diane brought her other friends. So let me give her a name. Let me just call her Nicole. So we all was at the beach having fun, right? And then Joe finds a way to ruin it. He absolutely does. He called Diane everything but a child of God that day. Like, he had his friends text her to call her everything but a child of God too. Like, he was just real disrespectful. And Diane was crying her eyes out, bro. Like, crying her eyes out. And I'm furious because I know that Joe was mad because he couldn't be down there. But listen, nobody was taking Joe. Nobody was taking him. Like, number one, it wasn't no room. And number two, even if it was room, he wasn't coming. Like, period. Because I did not like how he treated Diane. But Diane loved him, So I had to tolerate him. But it became too much to tolerate him because he came attached to her. And like I said, Diane know how I feel about Joe. So Diane's crying, and I'm driving because she's like, can you please take me to see him? And I don't know. Diane is a Leo. I haven't really seen Diane cry in front of me, to be honest. So the fact that she was crying really bothered me, because I'm like, yo, she really doesn't see her worth. You know what I mean? But then again, I understood, because at a point in time, sorry, it's a mosquito in here. In a point in time, I didn't know my worth either. But I've learned a lot through watching how us as women, we really feel like that's the best we can do, which is unfortunate. It is. So I'm mad because he's hurting my friend, bro. And she don't even have the strength to really tell him, because I understand, because she loves him. Despite all of that drama, despite him not being, like, having no goals, despite him having no problem with her being the breadwinner, all that. So we get to where Joe is. And I fixed my light, sorry. So we get to where Joe is, and I'm furious, and they're arguing, and like Joe is like arguing with his like sister, and like I don't even know what's going on, so I stay in the car. But all I know is my boyfriend at the time, named Charlie, that's why I call him, is to give him a name. I could only imagine what Charlie would say knowing this story, because Charlie, listen, Diane was his friend, man, and you're not going to be a man getting in Diane's face. Like, that's not how Charlie rolls. So he got out the car and he was ready to fight Joe, and I was ready for it. Because you want to know why? Joe had no problem getting in a woman's face, but if it was a man, he wouldn't do that. Because when my boyfriend at the time got out the car, that's when he act like he didn't want no smoke, right? So then Diane brought Joe this project car off Craigslist because he loved cars. And Joe told Diane that it didn't work. And this man legit got in the car. He lied about the car not working. He got in the car and drove off. Like, Diane didn't even want to call the cops on him, because we're like, he stole your car, like he lied, like this man caused a lot of drama in Diane's life. And when she finally kicked him to the curb, I said hallelujah. But it doesn't end there. This is where I'm about to get into the shocking part. Listen to this, y'all. Hernando County man hit pedestrian, drove away with wait. Viewer discretion is advised. This is a gruesome story. I cannot believe. I mean, this is I can't even put into words. Just viewer discretion advised, because this is a gruesome story. I'm not even gonna lie. So drove away with the body and dumped it. So pretty much, Hernando County man has been arrested after he hit a pedestrian, drove away with the man on his car. Then he dumped the man behind a bait shop. Mind you, so pretty much he did a hit and run. He hit a 32-year-old man, right? And then he tried to hide the body behind a bait shop, right? So the pedestrian, a 32-year-old Spring Hill man who was not named by the highway patrol, was walking alongside the road when he was hit by Joe's 1995 Mazda. Joe then drove down the street, where he moved the body from the car and dumped it. He called his roommates and his friends to have them help push the car back to his house, which was also on the 6,000 block of Evanston Street. Strickland told his friends that he hit a deer. See, one thing about Joe, I would say he was always a liar. He was always a man not to be trusted. Always. And this is another tale for also me when I found out about this story. If I feel funny about people, really trust that. Because I was not fond of this man. And this was 2015. Listen. Sorry, I moved the camera. When he got home, he spray painted parts of the car. Look, and then they got the car. I don't know, can you guys really see it? But this is the car he was driving. And this is the damage you see where he hit that person. And he gonna sit up there and tell the friends he hit a deer. I'm like, wow. Later that morning, a roommate looked at the car and figured the damage couldn't have been from a deer. He called law enforcement about 8 a.m. So it's crazy. His roommate snitched on him. About the same time, officials found the man's leg, y'all. They found the person's leg that he hit. He hit that man so hard that his leg detached from his body, y'all. This is why I'm saying, oh my gosh, I can't stand mosquitoes. Oh, sorry. Let me see. Troops and Hernando County Sheriff's Office deputies and the Picasso County Sheriff Office dogs searched for the remains and found the pedestrian's body behind the bait shop. He was arrested on charges of leaving the scene of a crash involving death tampering with evidence, having no valid driver's license, involving a death, and having no insurance. Can you imagine that? He has no driver's license and no insurance. He was also arrested on a warrant out of Minnesota. See, I knew he moved away because he used to live in New Jersey. Then he moved away, and then that's why I read the story, because my friend sent me this. You know, my friend, let me give her a name. Let me call her Vanessa. I call her, she's like my little sister. She's more than my friend. And actually, it's her birthday, Vanessa's birthday. Actually, when I'm filming this is about midnight. So it's actually her birthday today. And, you know, I'm actually going to see Diane today as well, which is kind of crazy. And Vanessa sent me this. And I was like, why she sent me this, you know? I was like, I don't know no Tampa man. Like, what? So, in February 2020, Joe was driving 86 miles per hour in a 60 miles per hour zone in Minnesota. When the deputy saw the speeding car and tried to approach, Joe tried to pass a tractor trailer and a car, but ran into another car, swerving and rolling several times into a ditch, right? A 17-year-old in Strickland's car was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. This is why I tell people, when people don't have good energy, bad things will start to happen to you. When Diane was with him, she got in a car accident and it totaled her car and she actually got hurt. So when I tell you guys on my channel, energy is real, and if you don't pay attention and walk away, it could almost cost you your life, man. This stuff ain't no joke. Because this man, Joe, wanted to roll around with everybody. See, this was a 17-year-old who had no idea about Joe's past. That's just riding with this man. And he was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. On top of that, Joe and the other passengers, a 14-year-old on top of that, and a 20-year-old was taken to the hospital. That's not it, though. Now, I was trying to find a thumbnail because I was going to put this man's picture up here because it's public information. So, and then I ran into this other article that was by the metro.co.uk. I'm like, UK? This story even made it to the UK? Like, this is crazy, right? But this is what they didn't say in the other article, where it gets worse. But let me show you how my friend dodged a bullet. Here we go, right? So this same article, well, this different article explains what happened, but this goes into more. There were multiple warrants out for Joe's arrest in Minnesota. One of them out of Goodhue County was an active warrant for 2 felony counts of animal torture. I found this out like last night because I was looking for thumbnails and I told my partner, I said, oh my gosh, this story just gets worse. So catch this. Joe had another ex-girlfriend, right? Joe's ex-girlfriend, this is not Diane. This is some other girl. I don't know who she is. It's some girl he met over in Minnesota. But listen to this. Joe's ex-girlfriend contacted Cannon Falls police back in March 2020 and said she suspected he was responsible for KILL, you know, for YouTube purposes, her cat after they ended their relationship. A criminal complaint states, in addition, her other cat was not found. The cat's head, now this is about, listen, I'm going to tell you it's cruelty. I'm going to tell you before I continue, okay? All right. The cat's head was removed and there was another injury to this abdomen. The responding police officer wrote in the complaint. The other cat was found in a dumpster without its head. This man was a monster. And I couldn't imagine. Because Just like Diane didn't really know about Joe's past, the next girl he was with didn't know. So this man, to be honest, he has always had legal troubles. When he was in New Jersey, listen, he had cases here. Like, he had cases everywhere. So pretty much this man has been on the run. But when you on the run, your time will run out. So not only that, the neighbors could hear the cats being tortured inside the ex-girlfriend's home. Strickland, which is Joe, had another, well, that's the same one I read about, the February 2020 crash. Y'all. So you know me. I use astrology because I wanted to see, you know why now, right? Guess what? This man is going through his Saturn return. This just proves my case of when I say. It goes also back into the video I said for those people I saw who did the PPP that had Saturn in Aquarius. I'm like, because Joe has Saturn in Aquarius. And I said, wow, well, there it is. And look, what I say, exposed on the internet. You could read this article, man. It is crazy. And I just want to say this. My friend, Diane, dodged a bullet. Honestly. Who's to say he wouldn't have ended up hurting her? But luckily, she got out. Way like this, I think she broke up with him like 2016 or so, 2015. I forget, like 2016. And she's moved on now, of course. You know, she found herself a new guy. I love her boyfriend now. I do. He's mad cool. And he is everything that Joe is not. You know, he has his own job. He also provides for their son, you know. And I am just so happy that Diane saw her worth. And I say this to my ladies out there. Please don't let your emotions blind you from the red flags from a man. And even to my men as women, because listen, to my men too, recognize the red flags within women. You know, women who act all jealous and this and that, listen, that'll be the same one that puts you in the grave. People who behave a certain way, it is important not to overlook that because it can cost you your life. You know, this other girl that was there, she's lucky that he didn't rip her head off instead of the cat's. But believe me, there was red flags about Joe, obvious ones, from even when I met him. So I want to say this to people who are dating. Please don't be so quick to dismiss people's opinions about your partner. If your partner rubs a majority, when I mean a majority, like Joe did, he rubbed everybody the wrong way. To go back to Diane's other friend stopped talking to her completely after that night with Joe when we went to the beach. You know? Because that's how toxic it was. It's also hard for people to watch people we love go through a toxic situation we feel is nothing we can do. You know? We're watching someone you claim you love destroy you to pieces. You know? But I know when people are in love, you want to believe that this person is this and that. But listen, take this as a cautionary tale. Be careful who you lay next to. All right, guys. So I'll catch you guys later.